So did you know that to study for a bachelor's degree at a top Canadian university, such as University of British Columbia, University of Toronto and McGill University, in September 2023 intake, you should ideally start preparing now? Yes, it may sound very early, but what if I tell you that the applications for these universities will open in October 2022 for the next intake, and it's high time you start preparing and building your profile. Also, the deadline will be in January 23. And if you want scholarships, then December 2022. That means you have less than a year to work on your application. In this video, we speak to two students, Ranveer Singh Sekhon and Rajveer Singh Sekhon from UBC, studying Bachelor of Civil Engineering, and they're going to answer a lot of your queries. So stick till the end of this video. Also, if you need tips and tricks on building your profile to study at top Canadian universities, do let me know in the comments below. Let us welcome both. So let's begin with today's So, Ranveer, Rajveer, tell us a little bit about your background. Have you guys been studying at a similar college and university and school all your life?
Most parts of we have done our schooling in India.
Right.
So it was pretty similar for that. But when you move to Canada, the system changes a bit.
Right.
The education system is more, in India, it's more about remembering what you're studying. Here, it's more about understanding what you're studying.
Okay. And when did you when you start applying for the universities in Canada after your 12th grade? So apart from UBC, did you apply to any other universities, or UBC was?
Sir, initially we applied to universities during our grade 12, and it's a conditional offer. So after you get your final results, you get the admission.
Right.
And we didn't apply to many universities. We only applied to UBC, SFU, and UVic.
Okay, so moving on, I want to ask you, why did you specifically wanted to be in UBC only? Any particular reason? Maybe the rankings, or maybe something which kind of made you seal the deal. Like why choose UBC?
Yeah. It has a good ranking. It has a prestigious standing. And also for the specific course we wanted, civil engineering, it is one of the best in Canada.
Right.
And the weather in British Columbia is much better than the east side, towards Toronto.
How was the documentation procedure like? Did you appear for the SATs as well for UBC, or did they require SATs?
No, sir. No SATs. They only need your grade 11 and then grade 12 grades.
Yeah.
And proficiency in English. That's a big thing. So
right.
If you're an international student, you need to have an IELTS exam, a good IELTS score to get into a good university.
Right.
And other than that, it's mostly your grades and your application that matters.
Right. But you guys already did your 12th in Canada, right?
Yeah. So but you still have to give IELTS.
Okay, you still had to give IELTS. So what was the IELTS requirement like for UBC?
For the IELTS, they don't require the general, they require the academic test.
Yeah.
And I think for UBC, they have you need a minimum total score of 7.
Yeah.
And anything apart from that, any interviews or something like that which you had to prepare for?
There's no interviews, but you have to for your application, you have to write essays. That's the only different part. There's no interviews though.
Yeah, for only if you're going to business school in UBC, sort of business school, then you have to give an interview. Other than that, for other schools, you don't. Yeah.
Okay. Rajveer, what do you think? Do you have any practical elements in your course? You're doing a civil engineering program. So what kind of practical elements, you do have on the course?
So for the practical elements, we have labs and tutorials every week.
Right.
So these classes are much smaller than a lecture hall. Mm-hmm. So it's not basically the professor. We have teaching assistants who organize these classes, and it's 10 to 15 students in one of them.
Right.
One of these classes, and it's very hands-on and one-to-one kind of experience.
Right.
So we have labs happening and physical models of things to make the kids understand better.
Right. So do you have any site visits or something where you can kind of go and maybe look at things? I don't know because how it works.
Not yet, but we're just going into our third year. So all of this your major specific thing courses start in third year. For first 2 years of engineering, it's all general. So but we do have a lot of for practical stuff. You have modeling CAD class in which you have to like make a project on SolidWorks. Yeah. So, and then you have like 3D printers available on campus, and you have to like print them and make a prototype, and then you like take it further. If the professor likes it, he can patent it with you guys, and like you can actually make it into an actual product. And there are so many like from every year they take like one top group, and their project is like made into a reality, and they like use it on campus and try to like make a company out of it too.
Right.
And university does provide funding for all of this too.
Do they offer internships as well? Like, maybe towards the latter degree or something like that?
Yeah, we have co-ops where you can, for one term you study and for the other term you work. Right. And it's counted towards your degree.
Right. So, are you paid for it, or is it like?
Yeah, you're very well paid for it.
So, you're talking about, the university again, the course again. So, like you said, in the beginning, you said that, the whole system of education is pretty different, because I believe, being, when you studied in India, like, you have to cram certain things, you have to learn, you have to do exams. The education system, Western world, kind of differs majorly. So what kind of assessments do you have? Do you have exams, assignments, or projects? How do they assess you on your degree?
Over here to a course, they are like they have a lot of components. So they have assignments like going like 2 to 3 assignments every week. Then like weekly you have quizzes. Then you have like midterms, finals. Other than that, like as Rajveer mentioned earlier, you have tutorials. And then you have to do your tutorial work. Then you have labs. They also come towards your final grade. So there are like 5 to 6 components to each course, which make up your final grade. Yeah.
Right. Unlike in India, like where we have the final exams.
The final matters.
It's all like that. A lot of things which kind of count towards your overall score.
Final exam is half of your assessment, and rest of your work is half of your assessment.
One last question I have for both of you. So I think I would like you guys to answer it individually. So starting with Rajveer first. So any suggestions you'd like to give to someone who's actually looking to apply for UPC? Like any particular application related suggestion, or maybe accommodation related suggestion, anything.
The only thing when you're applying is there's the essay questions in your application. So these questions are designed to kind of reflect what kind of personality the person has.
Right.
So make sure you're paying attention to those essays and showing most of your personality so they can make a better decision.
Right. What about Ranveer?
Yeah, I think first of all, the essays in your application, you do have to like work on them, and it shouldn't be like a normal essay. You have to actually reflect your personality and give a better picture about yourself. So like the university understands that it's a valuable addition to the campus. And other than that, I would highly recommend everybody living on campus for at least like 1 year.
Right.
Because it's much easier if you're moving new into the country. It's much easier because like you have all the facilities and all the help on campus. You mess up with anything, there are like people ready to help you over there. And like if you're living off campus, it's like much harder for like people just coming in who don't understand how the country works.
Hope this video was able to address a lot of your queries. And if you're looking to study at a top Canadian university in September 2023, start preparing now. On a side note, did you know that Canada is planning to welcome 1.3 million immigrants in the next 3 years? There is this and lots more. Watch this video for top 5 reasons why you should move to Canada after the doom and gloom of COVID.